Afternoon everyone, it's a pleasure to me to stay with Miss Karla Sarango. She's in B2 level and this is her interview. Miss Karla, introduce yourself please.
Hello, my name is Karla Sarango. I am in B2 level and I'm going to talk about my favorite writer, Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde is one of the most famous writers of 19th century. Oscar Wilde is known for his clever humor, unique style, and also for his criticisms to the Victorian society. Oscar Wilde was born on October 16, 1854 in Dublin, Ireland. Oscar Wilde grew up in a home full of culture and art, which inspired him to become a writer. His father was a famous doctor and his mother was a poet. Oscar Wilde studied in Trinity College in Dublin. Later, he studied in Oxford University, where he was an excellent student. In 1884, he married with Constance Laud. However, Oscar Wilde in his life had some difficult moments. He had a relationship with Lord Alfred Douglas. It caused a big scandal in the society. So Oscar Wilde was arrested and sent to prison for 2 years. And after leaving the prison, Oscar Wilde lived in poverty and died in 1900. And now, I'm going to talk about his most famous works. The first one is The Picture of Dorian Gray. This novel talks about the life of Dorian Gray, a young man that stands forever young and beautiful, while his picture grows older. This story is about vanity, consequence of selfish desires, and also moral corruption. The next one is The Happy Prince. This story is about a golden estate and a swallow. They helped the people and sacrificed all they have to help others. This story is about it's about generosity, compassion, and love for others. And the last one is The Nightingale and the Rose. This short and sad story talks about a nightingale and that sacrificed her life to create a red rose for a young man in love. This story talks about the view of Oscar Wilde about unrequited love and also true beauty. In conclusion, I think that Oscar Wilde was a writer ahead of his time. I think that his works inspire us to believe in love and also sacrifice for others. And also I think that their works never go out, like I said that his stories never will die. Thank you very much. It was my presentation about Oscar Wilde.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Now, I have some questions to you, okay? So please, first, tell me, why did you decide Oscar Wilde as your topic?
I decided to talk about Oscar Wilde because he's my favorite writer. I remember that since I know him, he became my favorite writer.
Okay, thank you. Would you recommend investigating Oscar Wilde for new people?
Yes. When I know new people, I investigate about their life and also the life of another writers.
Okay, thank you. Tell me, Miss, how did Oscar Wilde impact society?
Oscar Wilde impacts the society with, I don't know, I think that Oscar Wilde was in love of another man, so the people were so um, confused with his sexual orientation, so that impacts the society of that time.
Okay, thank you. Tell me, Miss, what was his message?
The message of Oscar Wilde was that we must believe in love, sacrifice for others, and also be honest with ourselves.
Thank you. Tell me, for you, what was now his legacy?
His legacy, nowadays, I consider that is his message about sexual orientation. Now we must be so respectful and tolerant with another people that has another opinions and also another sexual orientation. Because I consider that all have the right of love and be happy.
Okay, thank you. Tell me now, what are the benefits of reading?
The benefits of readings are that you can improve your imagination. Because I remember that when I started reading Oscar Wilde works, I improved a lot my imagination because I needed to understand the reading. And also another benefits are that you could improve your reading skills.
Okay, thank you. Now, on the other hand, tell me what are the disadvantages of reading?
I consider that disadvantages. Maybe if you find an excellent book, you could wait a lot of time reading it, and it could be a problem.
Okay, thank you. For you, what has been the best plot twist you've read in a book, Oscar?
The best plot twist was when I was reading his most famous novel, and it was The Picture of Dorian Gray. And I remember that when I was reading it, I didn't hope that the picture was cursed. So I was so confused for that, and I think that is the best plot twist for me.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Now tell me, if you had the opportunity to live inside a book of Oscars, wow, which would it be?
I consider that I will live in The Happy Prince because he and the swallow helped the city, the people, and I consider that they created a better place. So I consider that it's the best to live.
Thank you. Now tell me, for you, what is the most popular book?
For me, the most popular book of Oscar Wilde is The Picture of Dorian Gray. I remember that when I talked about it with another readers, they know that because it's the most popular.
Okay, thank you. Now, on the other side, what is the least, in that case, popular book?
The least popular book is The Selfish Giants. Because I remember that when I talk with them about it, they don't know about it, so I have to explain it and recommend them to read it.
So, it's a good book?
Yes, it's a good book.
Okay, thank you. Did he have bad books?
No, I consider that Oscar Wilde have excellent books, so I think that they are the best. He doesn't have.
Okay, thank you. Now, if you could ask a question to him, what would you ask him?
If I had the opportunity to ask him something, it could be that what is his opinion about our current society.
Okay, thank you. Now, what would happen if Oscar Wilde was alive nowadays?
Nowadays, if Oscar Wilde will alive, I think that he will um, have the lead that he didn't, because I think that he wasn't free. So I consider that now he could express his ideas and also live his his sexual orientation.
Okay, thank you. Tell me now, how have Oscar Wilde changed you in your personal life?
Oscar Wilde has changed, I don't know, my mind, for example. Uh, when I know about his story about his sexual orientation, I understand that people must be more tolerable and also be more respectful with another people that have another ideas, and also maybe that their sexual orientation is different.
Okay, thank you. Tell me, what is the most that is memorable that is memory that you have with an Oscar's book?
I consider that the most memorable moment was when I was reading about the Nightingale and the Rose, because I remember that the book was so sad for me. When I finished it, I was so sad, and I just was thinking about that the love is it's so cruel, and it was, I don't know, maybe the final of that story was so sad for me.
Yes, so that was the most memorable, and it was it the best? So, or what is the best memory that you have with Oscar?
The best memory it was when I start with the picture of Dorian Gray, because I noticed that Oscar Wilde was an excellent writer.
Okay, thank you. Tell me now, who is your favorite character among all the Oscar's book?
My favorite character, I consider that is the painter Basil. That, he's from the picture of Dorian Gray. I remember that that character was so awesome and so intelligent. So he's my favorite character.
Okay, thank you. Did you feel identified with the character?
Can you repeat that?
Did you feel identified with the character?
Not really. I consider that Basil is so intelligent and so awesome, and also it's a famous painter. So I don't really identify with him.
Okay, thank you. Tell me now, is reading popular here in Ecuador?
I consider that many people read, but I consider that in the last years reading is not I consider that the people don't like to read a lot. So I consider that we must read more.
Okay, thank you. And finally, what is your reflection about your topic?
I consider that Oscar Wilde has ideas and the way that you see the world.
Okay, thank you, Miss. That's all. Please say goodbye.
Thank you very much. See you.